Hi Sassy Scorps, this is the light path. I've been stuffing around for ages trying to get this spread to you. The spread's out. You don't see me shuffle because it takes me a long time. I just let the cards fall when they choose to come out. So I stopped shuffling on camera. The camera took me ages to set up, and there's some important messages, but I've had all sorts of shits and giggles trying to get them to you. So here goes. I've done September in 2 rows, 4 weeks. So this is the sun row for each week. This is the moon row for each week. So the sun is the external, and it's our soul purpose, what we show the world, our spirit. The moon is our soul and what we keep hidden. Sometimes even from ourselves, what we are unconscious of. And the 3rd row is the advice from spirit. So the first thing that jumped right out when I was doing this was that the first 3 weeks of September all start with a number 2. 222. In the first 2 weeks of September, the moon, the shadow side, starts with 2 6s, and then it goes into 2 4s. So there's a lot of repetition in numbers, and we'll get to that. I just found it quite overt. It stood right out when I was doing the reading. Anyway, let's get on to it. The first card out for the first week of September is the 2 of Cups. In this deck, spiritual union. Now, that can either be spiritual union with a partner, a friend, a relative, or with yourself. It can be a nice balance of male and female energy within yourself. So the start of September for you Scorps is quite nice because it starts out in balance, and the main advice for all of this is to maintain that balance. Anyway, so that's in the external, and that could manifest it as I said before, a relationship coming together, a nice balance where you can be more vulnerable in your strength if you tend towards the masculine, or you could be stronger in your confidence and courage if you tend more towards the feminine. In the moon position, we've got the 6 of Swords. Now, traditionally, that talks about moving on from choppy waters to smoother waters. And I just love this card. Just trying to get it so that you don't get the wonderful reflection. It shows, again, a really nice balance, light and dark, yin and yang, all the opposing forces that you find in nature. But this one to me particularly shows a beautiful, real, true, this is real balance and alignment, because what's happening in this one, which is usually, this would be your choppy waters and that would be your calmer waters. This is, if you look at this card, there's a beautiful alignment, absolutely beautiful alignment, and that's almost the medicine symbol. So it's a spiritual medicine aligning the 2 halves, making them equal and balanced. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the Rainbow Bridge, but humans can form and be a rainbow bridge from spirit to grounding in earth. And as a sword sign, it's an air sign, so you don't want to be too, see, this is split in two as well. You don't want to be too up in the air. You do want to be grounded, and you don't want to be too much in your head. You want to stay grounded as well. So this is a really nice balance. And because it's in the moon position, it might be a reminder to stay out of your head and live in balance. And as the card above it is a spiritual union card, I see this following that up with a spiritual union between you and spirit, giving you guidance and advice, which is like, it's a banner start to September. The 2 advice cards came out, and honestly, I love it when this happens, because I couldn't write it. So the 2 advice cards that came out is, the first one is assess your relationships, which is pretty bang on for the sun position. And the second card is be open to spiritual guidance. Now, I could read these, just to, back up what I've been saying. So with the relationship one, it says, identify one dynamic or component of a close relationship that's vital to your emotional and physical health. This is especially important if you're healing. And a particular relationship is causing you stress. If your relationship is a healthy union, then celebrate. Your goal is to integrate your relationship into the quality of your life. And this is the balance, integration, the coming together of both yin and yang energy. And as far as spiritual guidance, are you someone who says that you're waiting for prayers to be answered because you want guidance that includes a safety net? Your goal is to own up to your spiritual insecurities and lack of faith. And that's probably why it's in the moon position. It's really saying, you've got this. You've got this spiritual union. You don't have to worry about it. You just don't tip the cup over by being in your head too much. Trust in spirit, balance it all up, and you'll be good to go. First week, tick, beautiful, loving it. Second week, second card out is the 2 of Wands, again, 2. And I love this card. It says it's the waiting game, and I love this card for 2 reasons. If you look at him, he's walking around and around, obviously, and patiently waiting. In the Standard Tarot, he's got the world in his hands, and he's standing, looking out into the future, manifesting what he wants. Now, this is, if you're impatient, it's not going to grow. The roots aren't going to get watered. Gravity's going to work against it. But by being patient, it's going to blossom, and it's going to do it in its own good time. But you have to be patient while that happens. And this, nothing's perfect. Nothing in any relationship is ever going to be perfect. It's all balance. And this month is all balance. It's all balance. There's no there's no domination of one element. So there's no loads of wands. There's not loads of earth or loads of water. It's really a balanced spread even. So this month, if you've got to have one takeaway. It's all about balance. In the shadow moon side is the Six of Earth, Six of Pentacles. And I love this card too because, again, it's all about balance. If you look, it can appear that he's bound, but in earth signs, it's all about practicality and doing what we need to do. And he's not bound. It's so this doesn't fall off. And this is providing what's needed. And if you look at it, it's a water carrier or a milk carrier, and it's all about balancing it on your shoulders. But it's not overburdensome. He's not hunched. It's not too heavy. He's got quite a serene look on his face. And no, it's not the Devil card. It's a card that deals a lot with, it's the Dreams of Gaia deck, so it's all related to Earth. And so I like this. This is my favourite. That in order to get the bounty, you have to do the work. And doing the work isn't for naught. It's not because you're bound. It's not because you have to, because otherwise he wouldn't be holding the bounty. He wouldn't be holding the rewards. If this was a form of slavery and oppression, he wouldn't be holding the rewards. And if you look here, he's got the key to the lock. There's all this balanced energy. It's all very balanced energy. And that goes with all the other cards. And in the card above it, the waiting game, this isn't a rush card, this balance card. It's not a rush card. You can't get this without waiting for it to grow and develop. And it goes back to the tree in the card above it too. There's so many links in this reading. I love it. You've got to wait for this to grow and develop. And the same with this. And you can't harvest it until it's grown properly and developed properly. There's no rushing this. But it doesn't have to be like a roller coaster. It can all be very stable. This is where you build your stability and your balance, is in September. You can set the scene for the rest of the year at least if you are comfortable in stability. Quite often we like the rush, but we don't like the aftermath of the rush. The initial high from the relationship, but not the actual relationship when everything settles. We like the high of winning, but we don't like the low of losing. So if we get to, especially Scorpio, get into the stable, boring, some might say, but I say foundation, a nice solid foundation to grow on and develop and mature. Part of that, in order to, while you're waiting, you can clear up the debris of beliefs past, ideas that are now outdated, actions that don't work anymore. And this is particularly relevant for psychic cleaning. So it's do you want to keep doing what you've always done? Do you want to keep feeding yourself both intellectually and physically what you've always fed yourself on? Do you want to keep believing mental and emotional bullshit? It's important as part of the growth to clear it all out, pull out the weeds. Pull out the weeds so that you can grow what you need to grow. And if your mind is and emotions are full of weeds, you're not going to grow a really nice, stable relationship. You're not going to have a balanced foundation to work on, because everything will get strangled and it'll never grow. So keep that in mind for week 2. Week 3, again, starts with a 2, and this is usually the Two of Pentacles. And again, this one's all about balance and choice. You have decisions to make, you have things to balance up, options available, and there's nothing to say that you can't end up balancing everything. You know, because 2 is by rights a balanced number. It's an even number. That's why they're even numbers. And while we're tossing them up, obviously they're not balanced. But in this situation with the Pentacles, they're both the same size. They both weigh the same amount. It's us that puts them out of balance. If we were to put them down on a level surface, they would stay in balance. It's us that tilts them out of balance. And so this whole month is about working out for yourself what is important and balancing everything out. You don't have to go to extremes. You don't have to give up an entire social life to be a responsible parent. You don't have to give up shopping and buying yourself things in order to save. There's a happy medium. And this month it's all about your choices, and your choices are going to lead to October, November, December. But it's not all bad. Like, I know I'm sounding all heavy and everything, but it's really not. It's basically saying, if things have been topsy-turvy and out of whack for you, here we go. This is the calm after the storm. This is where you get to come back down to stable, nice, even, and kind of draw breath, get yourself back on track, and point it in the direction you want to keep going. In the moon side is the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Fire. Now she's can be pretty feisty, but she's also, if you look here, a cat is usually a sign of intuition, but the eye above the crown chakra and the third eye all point to a really intuitive, linked in, connected vibration. And I think that's beautiful, because when you hear people say follow your bliss or follow your truth, the Queen of Wands is about living your passion. It's about living your truth. Who are you really? And when we're out of balance and we don't know which way to go and we don't know what to do, she's a really good one to talk to or ask for inspiration, because she comes from passion. And it in some situations it can be unhealthy and rash, but in this situation, surrounded by earth and water and stability, she's the one who will shine a light on what your passions truly are, and what's really important. And this is also saying, with the butterflies and the spiritual support, that you are a lot stronger and a lot more capable than you think. Transformation is beautiful if you look at it in the right light. And you don't have to do it alone. Don't worry about making these decisions and getting your balance all out of whack on your own. Ask for support. And the advice for this week is pay attention to your body. Your body quite often gives you clues and ideas on whether things are right or wrong for you. If you're getting sick very often, you're obviously not looking after yourself as best you could. Let's put it that way. Or something could be out of whack and you're not attending to it. You're not looking after it. You're not finding out about it. So this is all about, again, balance. Not too much fatty food. Not too much strict dieting. I can eat a single spinach leaf on day one and blah, blah, blah. So no extremes. Just be gentle and kind and compassionate. And it actually says, listen, observe, and pay attention to the physical, emotional, mental, and psychological stresses in your body and respond to one of them fully consciously. Your goal to pay attention to your body in every way. And I like the way that links up here to the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the psychological. So, again, balance. I sound like a broken record. Anyway, week 4 is, this is another one. This is in the traditional, this is the 5 of Pentacles, which talks about being left out in the cold. But in this deck, it's about making change and choosing. It's very similar in colouring and options to the week before. The lead on is, here it's about balance and making decisions, and here it's about making the changes to put those decisions into action. It doesn't have to be negative. In fact, it's probably the most positive thing you're going to do. No change is easy, but change for the better is so worth it. And this person is not a pauper. And if you look, he's balanced his hand over all the elements. So he hasn't made financial and material changes and just picked one element to do it in. He's balancing them all really nicely over all 4 elements. And the last card in the 4th week of the moon column is the mother, and that's the typical Empress card in the tarot. And she's Mother Gaia, she's Mother Earth, and she's the growth, creativity, abundance, compassionate, loving, fertile, gentle creator. It's very natural for women when they're pregnant to be super excited, but also scared of the unknown, scared of, will my child be healthy? Will I come through this okay? There's a lot of unknown when you're creating and growing and developing. There's a lot of unknown, so it takes a lot of courage. But what this is saying is you don't have to do it alone, and you don't have to rush. See the tortoise? You don't have to rush, and you don't have to do it alone. She's fully supported. And she's not rushing. And she's taking it very, very smoothly. So this is probably what you're not seeing. That you have a lot more strength than you think. The unknown isn't as scary as you think. You have all the support that you need. You have all the advice that you need. Balance, balance, balance. Assessing, clearing out crap. So here we go. Assess things, ask spirit for help, clean out the crap that doesn't work anymore. Pay attention to what you've been ignoring in the past and look after yourself so that you can grow a solid future. And the last piece of advice for week 4 is to empower yourself. And I love that, because by continuing to live by whim and desire, that's certainly not empowering yourself. It's handing your power over to everybody and everything else. It's looking outside to make you happy, or blaming outside for you being unhappy. So if you empower yourself by making good, solid decisions based on appropriate ways of thinking and letting go of shit, out of date ideas and beliefs, you are growing and empowering yourself. And that, my friends, is the aim of the exercise on the light path. We want to get off the old dead track with potholes and crap that we fall into, and we want to move up the light path. Now, what I've been doing, I've been ending each reading with a Rebel deck card, because with each week having an advice card, and that is, you know, very good, very clear advice from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I like these because they're a bit more my style. Not so much Spirit style of presenting advice. These are more my kind of advice cards. So I'm ending the reading with these. If you are easily offended, I would strongly recommend you turn off now. Although they're not all offensive, they can be just a little bit rude. Anyway, what has come out for Scorpio? Put the fucking phone down. Too much screen time is making you awkward and sad. Go talk to a live person. Again, balance. Balance your screen time with living people. I love it. Oh, put your phone down after you've watched this. That's the deal. Now, go outside, get into nature, and talk to a living person. Okay, my loves, have a lovely time. I hope this helped, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, loves and hugs, and as always, kisses. Bye.